Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News. And we're bringing you a Hurricane Laura update. Winds gusting to 188 miles per hour on the eye wall as the eye is making landfall. Now, this is a serious storm. Hurricane Laura is now forecast to be the strongest storm to ever make landfall along the western Louisiana and northern Texas coast. And this was with winds of 145 miles per hour. The winds have now exceeded 150 miles per hour, and this has become what many media outlets explain as an unsurvivable storm. Meteorologists rate hurricanes on the intensity in the Saffir-Simpson scale, and we'll get to that. Hurricane Laura is an extremely dangerous Cat 4 storm making landfall right now. The eye wall of Laura is nearing the coast of Louisiana, has passed onshore now, with catastrophic storm surge, extreme winds, and flash flooding expected. Now, the Saffir-Simpson scale says that this is a major Cat 4 approaching Cat 5. Winds, sustained winds at 150 have been recorded for 4 hours now, and they may be increasing based on the models. Now, storm surge, the worst place you can be is at Calaceu Lake, and we'll get to more of those details in just a moment here. So let's quickly take a look at the extreme wind warnings here as this just came out. Let's see now, 20 minutes ago. This is the current radar and winds. So let's blow that up. You can see Lake Charles, 48 mile per hour gusts to 74. New Iberia, 31 mile per hour, gusting to 45. And Beaumont, 30 mile per hour, gusting to 41. These Lake Charles gusts have increased to over 100 in the last 20 minutes. So there's that. Remember, this is a major Cat 4, low-end Cat 5 storm, and storm surge from 10 feet to 10 feet extends for 300 miles. There are millions of people in harm's way here. I hope everyone is evacuated. If you are not out of this region here, right on the Louisiana-Texas line, get to high ground or try to get out. Now, we are here live where they're tracking Laura, and let's hear what they have to say. Let's quick listen in.
Shore, 150, 185. This is the midnight advisory. It just came in northwest at 15. So very little of that has.
So as confirmed, gusting to 185 based on the models, just confirmed by the mainstream media.
Changed at all. About the only thing that's changed is the location.
Now, based on the landfall here, Lake Charles is going to be the most devastated with flooding and destruction. They're going to be in the wind field here as it moves inland. As a Cat 2, as far inland as 180 miles inland as a Cat 2. This is not a laughing matter. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance when a destructive storm like this was forecast by us. Exactly the same landfall I predicted 3 days ago right on the Texas-Louisiana border as Cat 3-4. I was a little understating the reality, but way ahead of the mainstream.
It'll continue to come in as a Category 2 through 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. 110 mile an hour winds are forecast, and then it continues up into Little Rock area with 60 mile an hour winds, and then bending back through Kentucky, and it'll continue into the mid-Atlantic states. So there's a close look. You can see 88 miles off of Galveston. That's as close as it has gotten and as close as it's going to get. But the northern eye wall, you can't pick it out as well here, but let me switch this to the radar, and you can see that blue area. That's the northern eye wall that the National Hurricane Center is talking about. So that has made landfall. Official landfall will be when the center of that eye, it crosses and intersects the coastline. That would be official landfall. But clearly, and you saw from Robert Arnold, this is already having some serious effects. And look at these feeder bands that are coming in. And look at this one here. That feeder band, and we've seen those. Remember those with Harvey? And we would get these feeder bands of just relentless rain, one after another after another. That's moving right into Lafayette. For us, we're not seeing much. And we may see a little bit of the shower activity wind into Winnie and Anahuac and parts of the eastern part of our viewing area. That's going to be about it. Tornado watch in effect until 8 o'clock in the morning. So that whole area, and especially this feeder band area, that's going to be really tough. In fact,
So if you are east and north of the storm, that is where the tornado warnings and watches are coming out now. So stay tuned and heed the warnings. Here we're going to give you a quick update on some of the live streams around the region. Cameron, Louisiana being pummeled. There's not even any visibility there. This is the Bayou of Louisiana, just east of Sabine. This is one of the unsurvivable regions. And Johnson Bayou below here, winds are now gusting to 80 miles per hour, pressures at 1,000. So that eye wall is quickly approaching. But look at what's happening here. That is insane. We could see some high winds in Port Arthur, Texas, as it's picking up here and near Hackberry. This is downtown Lake Charles. This is going to be the worst hit in the next few hours. So keep an eye on this. I'm going to leave you links below to all of these resources, so that you can continue to watch overnight if you so choose to. We'll just come real quick, check in back here at KPRC2 tracking Laura.
These red boxes here are tornado warnings until 12:15 and 12:45, so that's in effect. And then look at this. A flash flood warning until 2:45. So about another 3 hours on this flash flood warning because of that feeder band that is going to be pulling in here and moving right across this area. That is going to be relentless. Justin has been watching that. What you got?
Let me show you what I got. I took off the radar and I put on the basically the Doppler estimated rainfall to see what we get. As Frank mentioned a second ago, that feeder band, there you go. Notice that it just starts to continue to get wetter and wetter and wetter right over that same spot. So it's just got this spigot feeding right into it. There's Cameron right there. That's where Frank was saying that the northern eye wall has made landfall, so to speak. This is also where one of the weather stations there, Frank, had been reporting 110 mile an hour wind gusts as the northern eye wall gets there. So the center hasn't even reached there at that point. And you look at how much rain some of these spots, especially this bullseye, that we've got just offshore. Let me put this right to now and get an idea. And that's basically 6.5 inches of rain in just that tiny little spot. So as we said, this isn't a huge rainstorm, but enough. You get these feeder bands that move on through there. Within that is likely closer to, let's see.
That's where sitting, you can get a foot of rain.
Yeah, you're going to get a foot of rain.
So our prayers go out to the people all affected in this region. This is a major storm. It is only just beginning. We all know that major hurricanes that make landfall like this, it is not the winds, it is not the debris, it's not the tornadoes that cause the major effects. It is, in fact, the flooding after. So we could just see the size of the storm. It's almost, the hurricane winds in the center here is almost the size of the entire width of Louisiana. This is the current position. Let's just move it through on the European model, keeping heed to the winds here in the middle. So even as the storm moves all the way up here into Arkansas, we're going to still see gusts way up into 90 miles an hour here, up in Arkansas. And that is going to be late tomorrow. In the morning, you're going to be looking at a position where most of western Louisiana and southwestern Louisiana are in that eye wall. They'll be in a Cat 2 hurricane with gusts up to 150 miles per hour. So this is going to be a completely devastating storm. Most of the damage happening in eastern Louisiana and Lake Charles, and this is going to continue to wreak havoc up and into Arkansas. Hope you got something out of the video. Before we end tonight, we're going to just read the National Hurricane Center warning for you on Laura. So let's just click on Laura. We'd like to show you how to use this page. And you can just read the key message here. Unsurvivable storm surge with large and destructive waves will cause catastrophic damage from Sea Rim State Park, Texas to intercoastal Louisiana, including Callicaseu and Sabine Lakes. The surge could penetrate 40 miles inland from the immediate coastline, and floodwaters will not fully recede for several days after the storm. Hurricane-force winds are expected tonight in portions of the hurricane warning area, with catastrophic wind damage expected where Laura's eye wall moves onshore. Hurricane force winds and widespread damaging wind gusts will spread well inland into portions of extreme eastern Texas and western Louisiana early Thursday. Widespread flash flooding along small streams, urban areas, roadways are expected to begin overnight tonight and into Thursday from far eastern Texas into Louisiana. They've now upgraded the flood watch to up to 15 inches. So we're talking 10 to 15 inches right at the Louisiana-Texas state line, and that's going to lead to flash flooding. We're talking Cat 4 or 5 on landfall. The eye wall is now hitting. Storm surge estimated from 15 to 20 feet in this region. Johnson Bayou East is going to be the hardest hit, and we're going to be reporting on the damage in the morning. We're looking at 50% probability of flash flooding in the region as the eye wall hits land there, and that's why they've evacuated over 500,000 people at this point. So the one thing we should tell you is that we hope that each and every one of you is safe tonight. If you did not heed the warnings, that's your responsibility. You had 3 days of warning from this channel that predicted the exact location of landfall, the exact intensity, and we told you to get out of Dodge. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance when a Cat 4, a major Cat 4, is making landfall and is going to devastate hundreds of thousands of people and their homes. Share this with like-minded people. Be safe. We love each and every one of you. Thanks for watching. And that's a boom.